Here we are today with the Granite Armora 4x4. And to be honest, I got this because my collection needed one more. I had like one stand more left, and I just needed something to complete the collection. So why not an Armor? I said, here's everything on the side of the box, all the way from all the instructions and all of that. I'm not sure if it's legible on camera, but that's all you can see so far. But sorry, I accidentally forgot to flip my mic down, as you can see, but I'm still gonna try to do this. The show must go on. But today we're doing the Granite Armor 4x4. It goes 50 miles per hour. It's a pretty fun RC. I use it outside. It's very awesome. It goes 50 like it says. It's really fast and it can jump very well. I really do like a lot about it, but let's get into the box and see what's inside. How about we? As you can see, everything in the box looks very clean, very well put together in there. Something you could just take out the box without all those screws and tie rods and all of that. Plastic on the top of it's kind of weird, even though that doesn't matter, but it's kind of, I don't know, flimsy. But let's get into this box. Over here we have the receiver remote and all of that. I even like the way they have that package. See, if it was taking damage in the box, the bubble wrap there, it was pretty good for it. And here's the controller. It's pretty advanced looking. It's got a lot of buttons on it. It's pretty much a performance controller. It's very performance like. It's almost meets the standards of like a Traxxas remote, if you want to say. But hey, I do like the remote. I do like how it's shaped. It's a basic pistol grip, which is not really a problem. Those are like the best for me. And here it is. It has all the buttons that you can see there. Now we are just trying to get the car out at this point. I'm getting all the wrapping and whatnot off. I'm just glad this time the box wasn't as hard to open and everything. And later on down the road I will do a sound. Here it is. The Granite 4x4 Armora. As you can see on the side it says Armora. And we're gonna take the body clips off to see like what's under it, what's in it, everything and all of that. And I like these because they have like the rubber pulleys. You could just pull them like right off instead of fiddling with the metal and hurting your fingers and all of that. You could just pull them right out. And I've never heard of RC like this. This one is a bit crazy, and you'll see that further down the video. I'll do a sound test on it maybe tomorrow. But here it is. Here's everything inside. It's very compact, it's very clean, everything's where it's supposed to be. And best of all, my person from the store had like made an adapter for the RC so it could run my Traxxas batteries instead of buying a whole new battery. And there it is, like me putting it in there. I was confused at first. As you can see, I kept trying to find a way to like put it in, but it really wasn't working. So I just kept fiddling and fiddling and fiddling. As you can see, it took me quite a while to find out how to put it in there, but the battery itself goes like sideways, standing up, which I mean is a bit awkward, but for its LCG, it's not bad. Because everything is sitting up, but everything, if you look at it carefully, you can see the bottom is more tucked down. So with the battery being sideways, it doesn't really bother me that it's low center of gravity. It just came to a shock to me that it didn't fit the first time, because I thought it was gonna fit. But no, that didn't really stop me. I eventually like found a way to cope with this, because it was so funny. I fiddled with it for like a couple of minutes before I even got the rest of the video done. I was confused a bit. But then I figured out that you have to place it like standing up sideways, and then you gotta like strap it in that way. As you can see here, I'm putting one side up, hooking it and looping it, and that side went over. It was kind of hard, especially with Traxxas batteries, because they're much bigger than the average battery that is supposed to go in there. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be running those batteries in there, but the guy told me everything should be fine, and it was. It shut down when it was supposed to. That's one thing. So I think the last attempt here is coming up, I believe. As the video is running, you're gonna be like, why did it take you so long to figure it out? I was just, number one, I was excited, so I didn't really check through everything, and number two, when I saw like how the battery goes in, I was like, huh? But I didn't really let that stop me. I continued anyway, because like I said, the hobby is fun. So even if certain things are irritating, it tends to like be fun when you figure it out, obviously. But it was a pain at this moment. As you can see, I almost got it. You have to use your fingertips, I noticed. Oh, and there's one of the sides I got done. Both of them, okay, both of them are done. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the adapter really quick. Give me 1 second. I gotta grab batteries for the remote first. And since I don't really use one RC that's broken, I'm gonna have to take the batteries out of it and use it for like another. As you can see, that's my remote from the ACX Barrage. I don't use that anymore because I kind of broke it, but that's another story for another time that I might talk about, possibly. But I really do like the suspension on it. I like how everything is so far. But it's low center of gravity. It doesn't even have a low center of gravity, I wouldn't say. It has more like a medium center of gravity, which is what most of my RCs don't really have. They all have a high center of gravity. Even my Slash, all the way down to my Bigfoot, everything has a high center of gravity. So there's me putting the batteries in the remote and looking for the extender. Give me 1 sec here, and I found it. So that part was made for it. It didn't come like that, so if you do want to get that part to hook up with a Traxxas battery, the guy at the hobby store has to solder the connections together, and that's how I got mine. The soldering wasn't done by me, it was done by a professional. I know nothing about soldering. So far I only know about programming and upgrades and taking things apart. Electronically, I'm at a loss. Let's get this thing started. Another confusion happened when I touched the remote. I'm like, what is going on? How do I like turn it on? Because like everything on the remote is like extremely black and built in. So I fiddled with that also for a little bit, but eventually got the hang of that too. And there it is, it's working now. And as you can see, I didn't expect much out of it. Even that little jolt didn't surprise me, because as you can see in the corner of the room, the X-Max, I didn't really pay attention to his jolt. It didn't seem that important at the time. So then I put it up on like 2 tires, so I could do like a speed runner thing. And you're about to see where the RC itself surprised me. Something that I've never ever seen before in my life. Look at that. That is crazy. That is too much high torque for this thing. Too much power. I didn't expect any of that. And this is an Armora. I mean, I wasn't like natural with Armora, but this is crazy. And I see why they make RCs like that. And I actually do like it. That's pretty professional, pretty cool. But I stood there and did that for a while because I couldn't believe the tires expanded that much. Not that I have never expanded tires while speeding. It's just this was beyond belief, because I normally don't have wheels expand out that much. And it does that while outside also. So I turned it off because I wasn't sure if the battery or anything was safe for it yet, because I just got it. My guy at the hobby shop just soldered that and everything, so I wanted to make sure everything was fireproof, and the house wasn't really the best place to test that, so I took it outside like later on after this. And at this point I'm just taking the battery out because, like I said, I was nervous. I really didn't want the battery in there at the moment. I was unsure, but I'm just getting the loops and everything steadied so I can put like the body shell and all of that back on. I mean, it went crazy. I've never seen wheels expand that much. I've never seen an RC like this. No joke, like I said, the X-Max will always be better, but this, for what it is pretty insane. I actually do like how it is. And everything comes pre-installed with metal, aluminum, and all of that. So, upgrade-wise, you don't really need to get any because it's pretty much already upgraded in a way. Yeah, you could probably go get another engine or something for the ESC, but this thing is already beefed up, caked up, and everything. And that's literally all the space that I have for the specific RC. And that's about it. That's literally the last RC I could have. But this video is gonna have a twist because after this I'm gonna show you guys something else. So that's me taking everything off and making sure everything's arranged and all of that. So I'm just putting everything up, turning everything off, make sure I don't short anything out. And the body installation was easy also. You just pull the pin and take them out, and you just tab them right back in. It's simple. The rubber stoppies make it a bit more easier in my opinion, so I'm glad they added that feature. It makes handling more easier. And one thing I would get into is the electronics of it, because this RC is more easier to take apart than all the rest of my RCs. Does it make it better? No. But it's still nice to know that you can take this thing apart without having much of a fiddle with it. All it is a couple of screws and that's about it. And that is the Armora Granite. Now, in my opinion, that's gonna be one of my favorite RCs to use outside. It's very resilient. Shocks are really good. It has good back and forth movement. As you can see, the shocks like to travel a lot, and that's what I expect from an RC car. And it loves to wheelie too. The wheelie bar works really well. But give me 1 second. That is not all. That is not all. Let me put these tires back on the shelf really quick, because I really would want to show you guys something else. Let me get that. Read the instructions a little bit. No, I'll read that later though. Moving on to, give me 1 second. The one I'm about to show you now, I had got a deal on it along with the RC that I was already getting, which this is basically, I think, the same as my other RC, but it's different, it's custom. I asked the guy how much was he selling his own RC for, and he said for about $40. And that's a steal, because that our specific RC is on a site for 120. So if you go to a hobby shop and you see customized hobby cars in there, you are interested in something kind of cheap, ask them if they can make a deal on the RC that they have, because they may just give you a good price to sell it for. And it didn't take much to haggle. It was no haggling period. It was just $40. That was the deal, and I ended up walking out with 2 RCs instead of 1. This one is pretty nice too. It's got a LED light. Its suspension travel is pretty good also, and it's got a low center of gravity, just like another RC of mine's, but it's pretty good. I do love the wing on the back. I do love that it's buggy style, and all of that is custom. It wasn't custom made by me, but to buy a custom RC for nothing but about 40, that's pretty good. $40 for a custom RC. So remember that next time you go to the local hobby shop. We're about to test this thing out right now. Turning's pretty good. Right now it's charging, so we're just adjusting little here's and there's. getting you ready for prep. For a used RC, this one is pretty good. As you can see, the speed is high. I think there were slight modifications done to the innards. I am not completely sure, but the ESC and engine do look a tad bit different. But from the same company, I do see battery is nothing different about the battery. Everything's basically ran the same, but believe it, 2 RCs for the price of 1, literally. It was a good steal, it was a good find, and yeah, it was a pretty fun day with these. But my main favorite is the Armorer Granite. This is the full power of, I'm gonna say this is a Barrage also. Not a Barrage, but it was one of my RCs that I had. I can't remember the name. The Ruckus. I think it's another Ruckus, but this RC is pretty fun as well. And I'm glad I got to use it. And it does look similar to my Ruckus in a way. After me looking at it, it really does look extremely similar. Just because of how it squats and how it rolls, it's very similar, like. But I think that it probably is the same car, because I thought I was tripping, but they have the same low center of gravity, except I think one of them just looks different. But they both look very nice. They both look very nice, but I like the black one more. And that's literally my favorite one. And if you caught little oopsie daisy, I had my body on backwards, which is funny. But besides the point, it was a good find today. And I didn't know you could buy those RCs from them. And I do like the way this one looks. Everything's in order, it's still functional and everything. It's very nice. And I'm glad I found that at this local store. But